Aloha. Today I wanted to share a perspective on the so-called conscious websites and information sharing. The same thing happens on Facebook. Well, I don't have Facebook anymore, so these websites, all those stories that go on Facebook that people talk about and like and comment on, all that stuff comes from underground websites and even known websites too, depending on the vibration of the storyline. But this website is called Collectively Conscious, and this is one of the so-called conscious websites that's out there, designed to share information that the so-called big brother, the people who are controllers and all that stuff, don't want you to know. But this is the main reason why I'm sharing this, is because a lot of these so-called conscious websites are designed to sell you a sub-layer of so-called truth, or a sub-layer of information, so you get caught up in still thinking, still giving your power away, and still carrying on your life as if there's a bad guy, powerless, and that you have you're totally susceptible to whatever is going on outside of your world, and then you just gotta have to deal with it. So the main point is, these websites are designed to sell information that creates a foundation in fear and giving your power away, because they're not going into the depths of what empowers humanity. They're going into the depths of knowledge or awareness of information that exists in response to, like, just how the history books are layered on top of Christopher Columbus, and they don't want to go any further than that. These conscious websites that are compromised, in a sense, are starting on the bad guys. Instead of Christopher Columbus, they start on like the government, or when the banks went bad, or when GMOs started, or when chemtrails started. They don't go any further than, just like Christopher Columbus in the history books, they don't want to go any further than that, in a space of like the indigenous people, or where like these sciences and alchemy and the energy and the information, the magic that built the pyramids, the people who built the pyramids, not only in Egypt but all over the world, and how they're all connected. These storylines of connecting the dots don't want to be put out there on a massive scale, because that's when the real evolution beyond the revolution starts to take shape inside the individual. The real expansion happens inside the individual, that can't be touched by any kind of bad guy, that can't be messed with by any ideas of people who say that they're in charge or whatever. So you can see, like, here, aggression. These websites they're calling themselves conscious, and this is another. I'll show you another website right here. Galactic. Yeah, so this is called Galactic Free Press. And this one focuses more on like UFO stuff and star stuff, but this quotes like this quotes Collectively Conscious, like the other website. This pulls stories from there and puts it on this website. They share other stuff too, NASA, Your Emotional Rainbow. Like, so this is more of like the new age atmosphere storyline, information that is pertaining to the stars and is pertaining to your shift, but it's only like one version. It's not the depths of the versions of what's going on here. It's just it's not everything, and it's not supposed to be everything. But what I'm saying is that the reason why I stopped looking at a lot of these websites as seriously as I used to is because they're designed. There's a trend that happens when you start reading the stories, when you start connecting the dots of what, who their bad guy is, or what their ceilings are. That's the main thing. Once you see their limitations, then you can see what it is that they're selling, what they're starting with, and what they're going, what they're trying to do with when they call themselves so collectively conscious, or any kind of other websites like the Mind Unleashing. This is so this website is just a website that pulls from what these websites, like this one, Films for Action, True Activists. You can see like they're all like teaming up. Spirit Science, Waking Times, Wake Up World, Collective Evolution, like all these, Zeitgeist, Sustainable Human, all these share information to a sense, and then you're left with just like, okay, that's it. There's no further. It's just like information that's supposed to sit in your subconscious and your conscious mind, for you to do something with, but you're really left powerless because you're still stuck where they have led you to be by giving your power away. And I'll get into this is the main one, 21 books, but you can see giving your power away to like the government right here with instead of understanding how you can transcend war, you're still caught up in trying to be afraid of going to war. So that's one version of seeing how these algorithms are set up. So they're mainly set up to give your power away, still resonate in fear, or vibrate in fear, and basically that's it. So I'll click on this and see 21 books the ruling elite doesn't want you to read. So this is, boom, this is like right off the bat, 21 books the ruling elite. So the ruling elite, yes, I understand that this exists and all this other stuff, but this came out in 2011. So this website had to go and search for this story to put on their website and share with you about what it is that is really wrong. So this is already 4 years old. Is it still pertinent? Yes. Is it missing a lot of other points? You're damn right it is, because it's not talking about stuff like this. Well, I'll show you. This is how they give your power away to keep and maintain the fear. So propaganda, that's the government. Big Brother, government. These are supposed to be books that you are supposed to read, and the so-called elite doesn't want you to read. But they don't mention any books in here about the indigenous people or any kind of like ancient Kemetic teachings or anything that's going to empower the individual that will allow you to transcend these mentalities that make you give your power away to fear and aggression on the collective and individual layer. So Big Brother, government, giving your prejudice, fear again. Israel, Holocaust, fear, war, county sheriffs, ain't nothing but another war, corporatism, bankers and government, confession of economic hitman, war and government, JFK, CIA, war and government, towers go down, everybody already knowing about 9/11, government instability. So these are all like, in order to create here, American assassination, self-sufficiency, David Icke, human race, get off your knees. So all this stuff is like sprinkled in as an algorithm to make you trust it at a certain extent, and then just like leading you on in a sense. That's what it is. It's leading the readers and the subconscious and conscious mind on down a road that still exists, where you give your power away and you're still vibrating in fear. And the baseline to all of this is to lead people into a space of the understanding that there's a bad guy that they have painted the picture of, and once the move is made to actually make like change, or whatever they're calling change, then you will be ready for it, because your mind has been programmed to understand what change looks like. So you'll understand like this is your bad guy, and once that bad guy starts changing, then that's what your change is. That's what your evolution is. That's what your revolution is all about. And as long as these websites keep sharing these styles of mentalities that don't go any deeper than the truly empowered human being and the true essence of humanity that already existed before any of this new age community stuff is going, before any of these so-called collectively conscious websites came up and started sharing information. All of our power already existed and already exists within us right now, and this information will help you understand that there are people out there that do bad things, but that is not where your potential is in expanding into your own revolution and evolution outside of trying to fight somebody else. Because if you keep beating down on somebody that calls themselves your controller, then you're not expanding your consciousness outside of the consciousness that created that garbage reality to begin with that you fell into. These so-called collectively conscious websites are designed to keep you within the vibration of the same programs that created these problems. So 9/11, Big Brother stuff, Federal Reserve money. So you see all this once they start changing money and Federal Reserve stuff in the government, then you think that's your evolution, your revolution, your change, because you read a whole bunch of so-called conscious stories about it. And no, it's a straight up setup. It's no different than the way YouTube is designed to sell you like what your whole, this is YouTube is designed to sell you what your whole your brain is supposed to be thinking is entertainment and important and all this other stuff. It's like it's not for you to empower yourself with information or knowledge, or even especially not wisdom. It's for you to be distracted and to give your moments away to something that makes you live vicariously, like the World Series. Like, how can you say that's the World Series? If the World Series, any team in America, in the United States, plays any South American team, they will lose. Like, that's why it doesn't happen like that. That's why it's not. All this stuff is. I don't want to get into that. That's a whole nother video right now. So I'll stay right here as far as showing the other storylines. Obama. So they're making these bad guys. And if you keep, the point is, and I'm not saying like don't look at this stuff. What I'm saying is that be aware that it goes deeper than that. And once the trend of ceilings keeps going out to keep people on a certain vibration of thinking that doesn't empower them, it just gives them something to be pissed off about. That's not change. That's more of the same. So there's ways that you can share information that allows people to expand outside of the bad guy mentality and actually heal and understand, so they can set off foundation that isn't susceptible to this same kind of garbage. So they mix it in with videos and stuff like Martin Luther King, and you see the corporation. It's still the same thing. Corporations, Federal Reserve, Terrence McKenna sprinkled in there. Banking. It's really all just government, banking, science, government, banking, science. And then only a little bit of metaphysics gets sprinkled in there. A little bit of indigenous stories get sprinkled in there, just to maintain like the questioning. Conspiracy stuff gets sprinkled in there to make it more like credible in the so-called conscious. Yeah, all this information sharing about all this stuff, yeah, it's cool that it existed, but the point is this shit shouldn't have existed in the first damn place. So if you get caught up in the fact that some ridiculous ass intelligence came up with some garbage magic for you to get caught up in stuff like fluoridated water and chemtrail skies and all this other stuff, and you see that stuff changing and all that, and then when it starts to change even further, you see that, oh yeah, like you'll accept something that shouldn't exist, accept something as a change, but that shouldn't have existed in the first damn place. And instead of empowering yourself to expand beyond what limitation foundations were created, you get caught up in thinking that your change is based upon what you see on television, what you see on so-called collectively conscious websites. TED Talks is another main one. I'm going to have to go into that in another video. TED Talks is all straight up. I don't even want to go into it right now. But it is designed. There is a definite algorithm there. And it's all focused on science and... that's another one. I'll leave it there. Peace, love, and harmony.